I think a gluten-free mac and cheese is probably my ultimate comfort food, and I wanted to put a Christmas spin on it, so I was inspired by a mac and cheese I actually saw in Costa Coffee which had pigs in blankets in it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a gluten-free version of that, so here we are. I don't know if anybody hates sprouts out there, but I just love them. I cannot get enough of them. And I'm roasting mine alongside some gluten-free pigs in blankets because honestly, if you're not sure if you like sprouts, try them roasted because they are so much better. So I'm just popping these all on a baking tray and then I'm going to roast them in the oven whilst I prepare everything else for the mac and cheese. Now the base of this is just a simple gluten-free white sauce, which I'm pimping up a little bit to make it nice and cheesy. So we start off by melting some butter in a pan, and once that's melted, I'm going to add some plain gluten-free flour to the mix. Now you want to leave this on the heat and just whisk it together until it goes nice and thick, and that's what we call a roux. And once that's formed, we're going to add milk to it. And that's basically how simple it is to make a white sauce. Now I like to add the milk in batches, so I add maybe like a quarter of it at a time and whisk it in. It's really important to keep it moving because it will stop any lumps, and you can get a nice silicone whisk like this, which is nice and easy to use, won't scratch out your pans, but it just means that you won't get lumps in it like you will if you just pour all the milk in one go. I find it a bit harder to get the lumps out then. So I'm just going to keep whisking this up until I've got a nice thick white sauce. Now don't worry about trying to guess the quantities from this video, this is instructional to show you how easy it is to make, but I have written up the full recipe on my blog and there's a link to it in the description below, so if you want to check that out you can. And also if you love mac and cheese, cheeky plug for my book Delicious Gluten-Free Meals, which has an epic gluten-free mac and cheese recipe in that too. Now once I've got this smooth white sauce, I'm going to add a little bit of whole grain mustard, or you can use Dijon mustard if you like. Both are usually gluten-free, but make sure you double check on the packs. And then of course we need lots of cheese. I'm using mature cheddar because I find that gives a really nice strong taste. But if you're making this with Christmas leftovers, you can also add in kind of any extra cheese you've got from the cheese board. So maybe a bit of Stilton, a bit of Wensleydale, some brie, whatever you've got, chuck it in and it will make an epic mac and cheese. So I'm just keeping this on a low heat while I mix it up, and then it's going to form, as you can see, a nice smooth sauce. And this is ready to add in my cooked in pigs and blankets and sprouts. Just look at those. See, how can you not love sprouts just looking at that? So I'm pouring these into the sauce and apparently all over my worktop as well. And then I'm just giving this a really good stir just to kind of like distribute them around the sauce. And whilst everything was cooking, I also cooked up some gluten-free macaroni. You can use any pasta shape you like. So I'm just going to pour that in and again, chucking it absolutely everywhere. I am a very messy cook. I'm going to mix this all up, and I've left the oven on from the pigs and blankets and the Brussels sprouts. Now you can do this part ahead of time if you want to and then just bake it before eating, but I'm going to shove this straight in the oven. So once that's all nice and mixed up, I'm going to chuck it into an oven-proof dish. I've got a nice fancy pink one here. Going to pour that into the dish and spread it out, and then of course we need to add a nice cheesy topping. So I'm adding lots of extra cheese on top because let's face it, a good mac and cheese has to have lots of bubbly melty cheese on top, but you could add something like mozzarella on top as well, a bit of parmesan, whatever you've got in stock. And then I'm adding just a little bit of gluten-free crumble mix. Now you can use gluten-free breadcrumbs and I will pop a link to my breadcrumb recipe down below, but I find the crumble mix just adds that extra special festive twist and it looks really funky. I'm going to bake that until it's lovely and golden, and that is how simple it is to make this mac and cheese. I really hope you like it. The description down below this video has got a link to the full recipe. Let me know if you give it a try and follow along for more festive recipes every day.